chasing it all on the one-day circuit. A lot of these men, pun intended with the chase, but they might be a little bit more fresh-legged into this than they have been with some of their other opportunities, but it's hard to front-run a steeplechase. So a brilliant demonstration from Luísa Geiger on the women's side. Etson Barros of Portugal, he's 22 years old, European under-23 silver medalist. He did 8:22 in Maya in Portugal in May. So there's an athlete that might fancy their chances at a fast race. Emil Blomberg of Sweden, I mentioned that second place in Turku. He finished like an absolute train, and he worried. He might have been left thinking, could I have gone closer to that World Championship qualifying mark if I just committed a tiny bit earlier? Zak SEDDON is certainly another man hunting for a faster time this season, so they're looking like they're going for it at this stage. Valentin BRESC of France sitting in fourth place. Daniel ARCE of Spain just content to sit there, totally in the mid-pack and relax. Osama Barros of Portugal is very tall. There's a lot of space around in there to wield his legs and arms around. Early pace indication there is pretty quick. They'll now embark on their first water jump, and that's a big pack. Just the naked eye here, they're all through fine. It's stressful, can boost your adrenaline, spike it up when you're hurdling in a big group like this. Barros having a clean run and the hurdles at the moment. Blomberg tend to sit on the inside. The Frenchman BRESC, quite nice to run kind of next to the leader there in a steeplechase. You get a look at the barrier, but you're not doing all the work. Topi RAITANEN, the European champion in the all-blue strip of Finland. It's in a good second so far for Silja Kosonen for their nation, but he's just biding his time mid-pack as well.
Yeah, biding his time. I think it was the European Team Championships, and Phil Minchell might have a memory of this, where Topi RAITANEN fell, got up and still won the race.
It wasn't just the European Team Championships, it was actually the European Championships last summer in Munich.
So he's done it twice then. I'm sure he's done it twice.
but at the Team Championships, I can't remember the Team Championships, but RAITANEN, yes. And RAITANEN hasn't really sort of run a super fast time this year, but he's still been consistent. He's had a couple of outings in the mid-8:20s, and this is pretty sedate pace. You can just see that with your naked eye. They're not really pushing this at all. And RAITANEN does have a very quick finish indeed. He's very sharp over the last lap or 600 metres. So 2:53. That's only really, it's about 8:45 pace. It's pretty lamentable, even for a championship event, I have to say. But it's not untypical. Nevertheless, it's the Frenchman who's leading the way at the moment. ARCE, of course, set that 8:10 personal best of his in that world record race in the Paris Diamond League, when Lemaitre Germer absolutely smashed the world record and ran 8:52. Well, ARCE was some way back, but ran that 8:10 to lead the European standards, and you have to think that he has to be the favourite in those conditions. I just have a feeling that ARCE, well, we know he's also got a very, very good turn of speed at the end of the race, will just start increasing the pace just to avoid any accidents. What he wants is clear sight of the hurdles at this stage of the race. He doesn't want to be being tripped up by anybody or pushed around by anybody. If the race comes down to 3 or 4 people, I think that would what make ARCE happy. But you and I, talking about memories, Alex, we were there in Sweden 2 years ago and we saw Barros come through. And we said to ourselves, I think after the race, he looks like a talent. And I think we're just starting to see that now. Barros still very young but very talented. The Portuguese athlete will move on up and be in the European Under-23 Championships next month.
Zoghlami, big move around the outside. You would have seen 4 laps to go and known it was slow on the clock. He did 8:14 at the Rabat Diamond League. Puts him right up there on the European leading list, just behind ARCE. 8:11 personal best, so he is a very good athlete, but he'll know ARCE's dangerous. Zak SEDDON is running a very canny race there. The top 5 just starting to move themselves away from everybody else. We've still got Blomberg of Sweden in there, and for the first time the German athlete Ruppert himself involved a little bit. Haven't said much about Frederik Ruppert. 8.26 this season, 8.15 last year. He's a high quality competitor. Zak SEDDON has muscled his way there into the driver's seat, the second place position behind Osama ZOGHLAMI as they see 3 to go. So ZOGHLAMI's burst of pace there has been absorbed, but he's only got 5 men left with him. It is Topi RAITANEN, the European champion, trying to give chase behind. RAITANEN missed that move. He's going to be cursing himself here. Coming up to around about a kilometre to go. It's 2:53 for their first kilometre, 2:50 for their second, so they're chipping away. They're getting a tiny bit faster. It could be close to 8:30. I don't think Johan Quaal's championship record of 8:25 will go, unless there is an absolutely rapid last 800. So it could be, and I love seeing steeplechasers try and hurdle at full speed.
Just chucking a fact for you, the top 2, ZOGHLAMI and SEDDON, are both athletes with sporting brothers. Ala ZOGHLAMI is the brother of Osama, and Zak SEDDON has a footballing brother called Steve.
They are all eyes forward. Look at that focus from Zak SEDDON. Eyes boring into the back of Osama ZOGHLAMI as they come through with 800 metres to go.
The pace of a lot more respectable now. It's at 3. It's at 8:32, 8:33 pace now, and ZOGHLAMI clearly winding it up as they come through very close to 600 metres to go. And ZOGHLAMI, as we've seen so often with its nice head-on shot, we know that they're looking up at the far end of the stadium. They don't need to look around, they can just look up at the big screen and see what's going on behind them. It's almost like having a rear view mirror. And Zak SEDDON tucked in, ARCE, and then BLOMBERG of Sweden. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment, and then there's a fair bit of distance back to the German Ruppert now getting detached, and it's looking as though the double figure points are going to be contested between these 4 men at the front. Just remember, 16 points to the winner of this event.
ZOGHLAMI trying to take yet another win for Italy. They've been good so far here today, and they've entered the final lap. They've got 3 barriers left. Me looking a bit laboured. He's gritting his teeth. Do not write off the Swedish man, Blomberg. He's got a brilliant finish on him when he wants it. ZOGHLAMI, they're just struggling into that hurdle. He stuttered ever so slightly. Zak SEDDON, he took it very, very well, and he decided just to go with it, go with the flow. ARCE is trying to kick. Blomberg moving wide, and ZOGHLAMI, the fast Italian, in trouble at the moment as these 3 start to stretch away. It's Spain from Sweden, from Britain. Who is going to navigate this tricky water jump? All very, very proficient. ARCE drives off the front. He's trying to kick. Blomberg can finish fast. They're going to swing wide over this last barrier. Zak SEDDON looks like he might not have the change of pace required here. ARCE kicks off the final barrier. He is the European lead. He's run 8 minutes 10 seconds this season, and he just misses the championship record of Johan Quaal because he was too busy celebrating. And that's what it means to take those maximum 16 points for your nation. David ARCE continues a brilliant season. Emil BLOMBERG trying to cause the upset. He very nearly did. Solid 3rd place.
It's a really gritty seat. Apart from coasting and then putting his arms out wide over the final 30 metres or so, he looked as though he really had to work hard, and he acknowledges Emil BLOMBERG. No doubt at all. ARCE at the moment